chop, chop, chop. RuneScape 3 was brought to Steam back last year in October 14th to be exact. And it's not something I paid any mind to back then, but in my Discord, in my clan chat, and in my sort of small community that I have around my channel, old school players, mainly old school players, people who only play old school over and over again, have started playing RuneScape 3. Now, RS3 is a game that I've had very little positive experience with. I used to play RuneScape on and off, but as soon as Evolution of Combat came out, that was pretty much it. I was done playing RuneScape until Old School RuneScape came out. And even after Old School came out and I'd get bored of playing OSRS, I would try RS3 once or twice through the years, and I'd despise it. I would really dislike it. All the pop-ups, all the MTX, the interfaces, it was just all alien, and I didn't like it. And I'm not alone in that sentiment. I think a lot of people experience the exact same things that I've had and so don't like RuneScape 3, but there's also a lot of people who really like RuneScape 3, and there's been a lot of people recently getting into RuneScape 3. Curious about this small resurgence in RuneScape 3, I decided to check out the overall opinion of the game. The first place I went was the Steam reviews because it recently came out on Steam, so I wanted to check the reviews. I was expecting review bombs from old school players who are still pissed that Jagex ruined their original game. Didn't see any of that, surprisingly, although there was this one review that said, "I'm gay." Thumbs down. But overall, very positive reviews. I wasn't expecting that. There was this one review that kind of summed up a lot of the things I've heard from RuneScape 3 players. It has the pros and the cons. The pros: excellent skilling and questing system. Leveling can be done mostly AFK. The end game is quite nice. Those are the three main points I hear from people who talk about RuneScape 3 and enjoy it. It came from the people I asked in my Discord server, and it came from the people I asked on my YouTube channel. The latter three in the pros, I'm not really too sure why they're in there, but the cons: somewhat pay to win and microtransactions. That's true. If you're someone who likes to compete for high scores and race to get levels, then RuneScape 3 probably ain't for you because you can just buy all those levels with your money. Dead minigames, just like in Old School, there's a lot of dead minigames and dead PvP in RuneScape 3. The price of discontinued rares getting out of control, why would that matter? Combat system might not be appealing to new players. Now that's absolutely true. So this is a chart for RuneScape players in total. The blue line being Old School, the yellow line being RuneScape 3, and the red line being the total number of players. And if we scoot on up to 2020, we see an increase due to the coronavirus, this giant spike. But then after the not after the coronavirus, but once people start easing up and people can go out again, there's a second spike in Old School players, which I'm assuming is the Trailblazer League. It peaks in October, where I believe Trailblazer started, and then it dips down quite drastically this month in January when Trailblazer ends. But if you look at RuneScape 3, since the initial peak with the coronavirus, it dipped down a little bit, but then has been gradually climbing since, over the last 8 months or so. I made a post on my YouTube channel saying, if there's any RS3 players out there, please tell me why you play the game. And surprisingly, on my Old School RuneScape channel, I got quite a lot of RuneScape 3 player responses, and they're actually quite interesting. A lot of which involve the time spent on the game. I've had my RS3 account for 14 years. A good chunk of us can't play as much anymore due to responsibilities, children, work, etc. I find it more suited to the weekend warrior gamer. Better XP rates and the bossing is still really fun. Another one in the same vein, you can do raids and bossing without being maxed and having a 3 bill cash stack, so you can actually play the fun parts of the game while still maintaining a life. OSRS is a full-time job. There's also a few comments about quests being much better. In Old School RuneScape, they feel like chores you have to do to get to fun parts of the game, but maybe it's different in RuneScape 3. The quests in RS3 are much better and more interesting. I also work and can't spend hundreds of hours grinding just to play the content I want to play. I enjoy the immersive feel to quests and the beauty of the landscapes in HD. RS3 is incredibly fun for me right now. I got burnt on Old School RuneScape, and RS3 just has so much to explore. The quests in RS3 compared to OSRS is like comparing a paragraph written by an 8-year-old versus Shakespeare. Damn. And there was also a couple of posts stating that Old School Burnout or Trailblazer Burnout led players to go play RS3 instead of Old School, which may be a reason why we see a slight increase in RS3 players in the months after Trailblazer ends. So RuneScape 3, it's getting some more players. I've heard good things about it these days. I've got friends in my Discord who play the game. Is it time to give it a second chance? Well, not right now, because there's something I need to do in Old School RuneScape. Sunday scrolls is something that I used to do on the channel back in the day. In fact, I used to make a fair amount of clue scroll videos and people seemed to enjoy them even though they didn't particularly get much views. And although I'm not going to bring back the series that no one watched, it doesn't mean I can't have clue scroll segments in some of my videos that I'm making. But in order to prepare for me doing a bunch of clue scrolls, I needed a good setup in my POH. This is probably the worst POH I've ever seen in my life. This is my home. I've got a real crap teleport chamber with 3 teleports. I've got the basic jewellery box, and that's it for transport. That giant piece of POH up there was when I played Among Us in RuneScape, and my construction level is 87, so I can upgrade this, and maybe I can get the spirit tree and the fairy ring. That's like the ultimate thing. But we can definitely upgrade the jewellery box and make this place look a bit better and be more effective as a teleport hub. I gotta get into my Among Us POH and yeet this tea set. So I can make this gilded tea set that gives me a construction boost when I make tea and drink it. Give me a kettle, give me a teapot, and give me a cup. Give me some tea, put the tea in the teapot, fill the kettle with some water, put the kettle with water on the stove to boil it, put the kettle water into the teapot, that turns into tea, then you put the tea in the cup, and then you can drink it for a boost. Slurping the tea with the crystal saw in my inventory gives me a +6 boost to construction, so we can make the ornate jewellery box. Look at all these teleports now. Beautiful. So we got the maxed jewellery box, which is great. We got the maxed rejuve pool, which is also great, but those are the only great things about this POH, and there's lots of great things you can have. Let's build a portal room. And now the portal nexus. Now we upgrade it to the golden portal nexus. Drink some tea and upgrade to the crystalline portal nexus. Now we can store up to 30 teleports in here. Opulent curtains. Opulent rug. Now we mount the Zerix talisman and the dig site amulet. This portal nexus is maxed out. Beautiful. Now let's move it adjacent to the entrance portal so we can access the nexus faster. And let's do the same with the jewellery box actually too. Let's build a second superior garden and stick a big long obelisk in it. Oh, I'm a fan of this theme. A servant's money bag makes construction training a little less painful. And let's build the posh bell in the dining room because I'm going to be blasting out mahogany tables. I got 88 construction. I actually banged 99 construction quite a while ago, but it's just trying to convince myself to actually do the construction training. That's the hard part. But once I get into the swing of it, it's not too bad actually. There is 89 construction now. We can build the spirit tree and fairy ring. Zen theme for the second garden. Let's drink the tea and build the spirit tree fairy ring. What? Oh my god, the crystal saw. You don't use a saw to build this thing, so I don't get the levels from the crystal saw. Oh no. In order to build that, I'd probably have to get this +5 spicy stew, which I'm not going to do for construction levels or to get things on a main account. For Iron Man I can understand, but on my main, why boost to get things when you can just level to get things, because you have to get those levels eventually anyway. So when I make this spirit tree fairy ring, it's going to be because I blasted through even more mahogany tables. But in the meantime, let's build a few benches, spruce up the garden. Look at this place. Look how it's evolved from what it was to what it is now. It's not finished, it's not the best, but it looks a lot better and is a lot more useful. Now we've got enough utility in our POH to effectively blast through a lot of clue scrolls, so in future videos you might be seeing some clue scroll segments. To anyone who noticed the marble wall in front of my rejuve pool, don't worry, I went back in and removed that wall. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more of this type of video where I cover a few things and go on little adventures like building my POH or some other things, make sure to rate the video and subscribe.